Right, welcome back to Scholastic Science Home. I'm Inorganic and Benjamin, a science educator. I teach chemistry, physics, and mathematics very well. So today we'll be looking at chemistry, writing the chemical formulas of inorganic compounds. What are inorganic compounds? Inorganic compounds are those compounds without carbon, hydrogen bonds. So today we'll be looking at how to write the chemical formulas of oxides. Oxides are also inorganic compounds because they do not have carbon, hydrogen bonds. Now the question is, what are oxides? Oxides are binary compounds that contain oxygen. We just have two compounds in an oxide and oxygen is inclusive. Now looking at sodium oxide, the first step is to write out the elements making up the compound. I have sodium, and then since this is an oxide, oxygen must be present. This is Na and then oxygen. After writing out the chemical shorthand or the chemical symbols of the elements making up the oxide, we write down their valency. What's the valency of sodium? The valency of sodium is 1. How do you know the valency of metals? Sodium is a metal. The valence electron is equal to its valency. Sodium has 11 electrons. So the first row we have 2, 8, and then 1. 1 is the valence electron, so 1 is equal to its valency. Then oxygen. The valency of oxygen is 2. Oxygen needs 2 electrons to attain stability. Oxygen is a non-metal. The first shell we have 2, then the second one we have 8. So oxygen needs 2 electrons to attain stability. It is a non-metal, so the 2 electrons is equal to its valency. After writing down the valency of the elements exchange their valencies. Sodium will have 2, the valency of oxygen, and then we have oxygen taking the valency of sodium, which is 1. The next oxide we have calcium oxide. The first step, write down the elements making up the compound. I have calcium, the symbol Ca, and then since this is an oxide, I have oxygen. What's the valency of calcium? Calcium is a metal and it has 20 electrons. The first shell I have 2, I have 8, 8, and then 2. This 2 is equal to its valence electron, and this 2 is equal to its valency. So under calcium, I write 2. We've known the valency of oxygen as 2. So we have Ca2 and then O2. 2 can cancel out 2, leaving us with CaO. This is calcium oxide. Now let's look at the next next compound. Potassium oxide. Write out the chemical symbols of the elements making up the compound. I have potassium, which is K, and then oxygen. Potassium is a metal and it has 19 electrons. So we have 2, 8, 8, and then 1. This one is its valence electron, which is equal to its valence. So under potassium I write 1, and then under oxygen I write 2. Then there will be exchange of valency. Potassium will take the valency of oxygen, which is 2, and then oxygen 1. When you have 1, you do not need to write the 1. Let's go to another compound, an oxide. Let's look at carbon 4 oxide. The first step, write out the chemical symbols of the elements making up the oxide. I have carbon and then I have oxygen. Carbon is a non-metal and it has a valency of 4 and 2. But in this case, this is carbon 4 oxide. So we're making use of the valency of what? 4. Carbon has 6 electrons. The first shell we have 2, and then the second one we have 4. Carbon needs extra 4 electrons to attain stability. So the 4 is equal to its valency, and then oxygen 2. We have C2, then O4. 2 can divide itself to give us 1, then into 4 to give us 2. So we have CO2. Then the last one, we have carbon 2 oxide. Like I said, carbon as an element has a valency of 4 and also the valency of 2. When carbon bonds with just one atom of oxygen, only 2 of its electron will be bonded, will be shared with oxygen. So the valency of carbon in carbon 2 oxide is simply 2. So we have carbon and then we have oxygen. So in carbon 2 oxide, we are using the valency of carbon as 2. Then oxygen is 2. C2O2. 2 can divide 2 to leave us with CO. This is carbon 2 oxide. So when you want to write the chemical formulas of oxide, write the chemical symbols of the elements making up the oxide, write down their valency, and then exchange valencies. So you could try to get the chemical formulas of magnesium oxide, aluminum oxide, hydrogen oxide. Thank you, and see you in my next class. Bye.